Okay, so I've been doing YouTube for just a little bit now. It's been 4 months so far, and the time has gone by like this. And right now I have 14 videos out with 67 subscribers. I wanted to make this video just to explain why I started this progress of putting myself out there in the first place and why you should consider putting yourself out there as well. Welcome to my channel, guys. My name is Frank. I am a medical school applicant right now, and I'm very interested in personal finance, productivity tools, and reading books a lot. By the way, if you were curious, this is Cayenne Cleanse Kombucha. So it's like fermented tea that's very spicy, super nice, and very recommended. So why did I start posting videos on here? Well, really it's quite simple. I've always had in the back of my mind that I wanted to put myself out there on YouTube, but I am a very private and introverted individual. So that, combined with the fact that compared to a lot of other YouTubers out there, I don't really think of my ideas as original, and let's be honest, they're not. So those two factors really prevented me from putting myself out there and starting my own YouTube channel in the first place. It really prevented me from even trying to start my own YouTube channel in the first place. That is until I read this book called Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. Before reading this, I was very much into this mentality to avoid social media like the plague, because my work was for me and I was very much focused on what I'm doing in life to advance myself. But at the same time, that's not such a great worldview. There's nothing wrong with being hyper-focused on your own work, but if you're not putting it out there for other people to see, how are others supposed to know who you are and what you're interested in? A quote from this book that really resonated with me was, "Imagine if your next boss didn't have to read your resume because he already reads your blog." And while that exact scenario may not happen to you, do consider that when people apply for a job, usually what they hand in is just a paper resume with a bunch of bullet points and some references to some people. If you put your work online though, for everyone to see, this makes it a lot easier for your employer to find out who you are and what unique qualities you can bring to their company. And obviously, don't go around posting inappropriate things online, as that may come bite you in the butt later on. If you have any hobby that you're proud of, it can be quite literally anything. So maybe you're into productivity or personal finance like myself. Maybe you're very into trying out your local restaurants, so much so that people go to you for advice on where to eat out. Or maybe you just like creating art of any kind, so 3D, acrylic, etc. Everyone has something they can talk about because everyone has unique hobbies that they spend a lot of time learning about. And if on the internet there's a place for train spotting where people literally take pictures of trains as they pass by, there's a place for any of your hobbies. There's another quote in this book that's kind of blunt, but 100% true. In this day and age, if your work isn't online, it doesn't exist. If you don't share with others what you're doing, then 99.99999% of people will never know all that hard work you put into learning that one particular skill. So for example, if you spent a bunch of time learning the best way to plan for retirement in the future, like I did, and you don't publish that out there, then no one will ever know about that. And if you ask me, that's a waste. And I mean, depending on what you're doing, you might not want to be posting that online if you want to keep that private. But if you want to increase your chances of running into like-minded people who are also into the same weird stuff that you're into, posting online is a great way to go about it. And in addition, if what you're posting online relates to your work, then that means that you don't have to rely as much on a paper resume with a bunch of bullet points on it, because you're gonna have this giant digital resume with your work posted online, which explains much better to your employer what you're into and what your unique qualities are. And really all it takes is a few minutes a week just to post something. And the best time to start documenting everything is now. So those are the reasons why I started to document my life and things that I'm interested in online through YouTube and my blog posts. Now, I want to talk about some of the fears that I had before publishing that first YouTube video and my first blog post, and that was that people would judge me for posting things about my life and about personal finance. Like, who the hell do you think you are to start posting things about personal finance, right? And the truth is, nobody cares. Like, everyone has their own life, and they're too busy with their own life to really pay that much attention to your life. Like, for example, to put it into another perspective, imagine if your friend were to all of a sudden start a YouTube channel and start talking about trains or something. Would you really care? Probably not. Like, you would say, huh, that's pretty cool, man. Good on you for starting a YouTube channel. And you would move on with your life. That's what I got from most people who know me. They went, huh, that's pretty cool that you're doing that. And that was it. The other reaction I got was from some people who were quite shocked that I would be willing to upload a video of myself online, because in truth, in real life, I'm a very introverted and private individual. And because of that, they were quite proud of me for putting myself out there, which was like the complete opposite reaction of what I was expecting. Because since I'm applying to medical school right now, I was expecting something along the lines of, Frank, what are you doing with your time? You should be focusing on medicine right now and blah, blah, blah. And I was so wrong, guys. Most people have been extremely, extremely supportive, and it's very wholesome. The next fear I had was that I needed professional equipment to just start to put my content out there, and that's just a lie. Like, your phone has a camera, it has a microphone. That's all you really need. You don't need to spend a bunch of money on a professional camera, professional lighting, and a sophisticated microphone to start to put your work out there. Your phone is good enough for making YouTube videos, making a podcast, or even taking like fancy pictures of food to put on Instagram. And for the record, my setup is literally a broken iPhone 12 with a camera that just so happens to work. Literally the cheapest phone mount that I could find on Amazon that currently is broken and is being held up by super glue and zip ties. Yes, zip ties. And I did spend $30 on this like really nice clip-on microphone, but besides that, I haven't spent any money. So overall, it's been $45 that I have spent in total for my YouTube career, and that was $15 for the terrible phone mount that I'm currently looking at and I quite badly need to replace, and $30 for this clip-on microphone, which is, I think, of good enough quality for now. And that's it. There's no need to spend a bunch of money just to get started, and you shouldn't, because you shouldn't invest money on something that you don't know if you're gonna like doing for a long time, and also that's something that is not really bringing you any money. The barrier to entry is low enough that you honestly just need a phone to get started, and that's it. Now as for content, just accept that your first post or first video isn't going to be great. And that's okay, because no one knows you exist. Like for my first video, I put in so much work into it. I did the perfect thumbnail, I made sure it was very searchable, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I'll be pretty happy if I get like 100 views on this. And I got two views. One of them being me, so yeah, no one knows you exist. Don't worry about posting terrible content because no one will see it anyways. And what happens is that after you post your first video, all of a sudden something clicks in your head and you're like, oh, this isn't so bad to post. It's not as frightening as I thought it would be. I can do this again. Then if you need additional pressure to post, you can try what I did. I told one of my very good friends that I would pay him $100 if I didn't post my first video by Saturday. I gave myself a deadline, I'd made myself accountable, and there is no way I'm paying that guy $100. So, of course, I posted my video, and he is $100 poorer to this day. Sucks to be him. Another thing about content is that if you feel like you don't have the right to talk about something because you don't really consider yourself an expert, for example, on that field, then don't worry about it so much. Like, for me, I don't expect anyone to be like,
you don't have a master's in finance. Why are you talking about personal finance?
If someone does that to you, just ignore them. Like, I never said I was an expert in personal finance. I'm just talking about what I researched for myself because I am genuinely curious in this topic, because I want to know how to build wealth so that I can live life the way I want to live life. And to talk about that stuff, I don't really need to be an expert. I'm just showing my work. Finally, I wanted to talk about one last quote in the book that's somewhere near the end of it. Aha. All right. Anyone who isn't embarrassed of who they were last year probably isn't learning enough. And I wholeheartedly agree with that quote because I am currently experiencing it myself. Like, for example, the first video I made, I have been very vocal about this to my friends, but I hate it. I don't understand how 101 people have watched that video because I literally can't watch it, and it's me in the video. I'm the one who made it. The only reason I haven't taken this down out of pure embarrassment is that I think it's very important to know where you started. So when I look back to this, I can see how far I've gone in terms of camera presence, editing, thumbnail design, everything like that. And if you think your favorite YouTubers started out the way they are now, do something for me. Go to their channel page and rank their videos by oldest so you can see their first video. Guaranteed they have nowhere near the same camera presence or editing or fancy things that they do in their most recent video. YouTube is a progress just like anything else in life. The first few videos are going to be quite bad, honestly, and when you look back on them, you might be embarrassed, but that's a good thing because you're growing and eventually you'll get very, very good at it like everyone else. I'm going to leave you guys with one last thought. If you post one YouTube video, or you write one blog post, or you take one picture on Instagram every single day, don't listen to that guy, every single week, starting today for the next year, within a year, you're gonna have 52 different posts online. After 2 years, you're gonna have 104 different posts online. And after 3 years, 156. After all that time, you're gonna have a ginormous digital archive that you can market yourself with to potential employers if you wish, and you're also gonna have this ginormous amount of experience that you've gathered from posting online for these years. It's never been easier to share your progress on what you're working on online, so what's stopping you? With that said, you guys, thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. If I've inspired you in some way to post something online, make sure to put it in the comments below and I will check it out. In addition to that, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you found this content valuable. Also, I will be linking below my condensed summary of this book, which I made a blog post about if you're curious, and make sure you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you, and I will see you next time.